What is going on, everybody? I am so excited to bring to you my first Madden 20 realistic rebuild, the first of a few here on this channel. So before we get into it here with the Buffalo Bills, I do need to go through the ground rules here. So first things first, realistic moves only. Realistic trades, we will intervene and, exploit the game if we need to make realistic moves. Only realistic signings. Luckily, the game has updated their contract asking prices, so now I do not have to go out of my way, really, to make sure we're paying the guys the right amounts. But we are going to keep this as real as possible, really pretend that we are in the GM chair of the Buffalo Bills and trying to rebuild this team and get at least one championship here for this team led by Josh Allen and Sean McDermott. Now, as far as playage goes, we want to keep a nice balance as we have in the past. So we're going to do pretty much the same that we've done in previous rebuilds. I think we have a good system going. I'm going to make some slight alterations. So we're going to have every division game, 6 games. 4 of them we will do our Play the Moments mini game, where I get to pick and choose 3 Play the Moments inside those games with a maximum of 1 full drive. Now, there will be times where I feel the need to expand that a little bit, just whether it's a glitch that kind of ruins a drive or, we're getting blown out and for narrative's sake, I want to intervene. So that is just a guideline. I might go in and out of that, but nice parameter there. And then in 2 division games, as we choose, I am going to do a full Play the Moments. So every moment that the game presents to us inside that game, and then I am going to pick and choose 1 game of full offense, 1 game of full defense, and 1 game of fourth quarter only. If we ever go to overtime, I will be playing all of overtime. And then as far as playoffs are concerned, in the wild card round, 5 Play the Moments with 2 full drives. And then as we move on, divisional round, 4 Play the Moments, 1 drive. Conference championship, 3 Play the Moments, 1 full drive, and then if we should make the Super Bowl, I will play the moments for the entire game. So that is what we're doing as far as playage. We are going with my own roster here. For those that are not familiar with my custom roster, a realistic overhaul for Madden 20, I will post the link in the description below. I encourage you to check that out so you can see what I'm doing with this roster. And why it makes for a more immersive franchise experience. Also, my own custom draft classes will be used here as soon as I can get those done, which this series is going to push me to get those done as soon as possible. Also, this series will be uploaded 2 times per week, and it will always be this time of week here on Friday at 5 p.m. I'm Central, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Every Friday. The other one will probably be a Monday or a Tuesday. It's hard to say for sure. And then potentially a 3rd time a week will get mixed in there depending on how busy I am that week. So I'm guaranteeing 2 per week, up to 3, maybe even 4. Who knows? But make sure you do turn on notifications so that you do get alerted when I do upload, because that Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time is going to be the only consistent time that we will be uploading this. The last thing I need to say, if you are a star patron or wish to become that, that's $5 a month, you will get early access to any videos that I finish before I wish to upload them, and they're just sitting there uploaded. I will allow early access to you on Patreon. So if you want that, go check that out in the description below. And the last thing I'm going to ask is please make sure you are hitting that like button on every installment of the series. If you enjoy it, that's all I'm asking. It helps support my channel, helps share the videos, and grow the channel as well. So please do hit that like button down below, and let's get into it. The Buffalo Bills, as we see them right here in this nice new little menu that is going to make for some nice navigations for the rebuild series. This is a defensive-oriented team that has an exciting young quarterback that we are hoping can really thrive and develop into the superstar that we had hoped he would when we take him, that this team took him 6th overall in the draft. They've added some offensive linemen here: Quinton Spain, Mitch Morse, Cody Ford, and Ty Nsekhe, a fully new group outside of the left tackle position. They've added some weapons as well. Tyler Croft, if you want to call him a weapon. John Brown, a true deep threat. You've got Cole Beasley in here and Robert Foster, another deep threat to capitalize on Josh Allen's rocket arm. And then also we have Frank Gore brought in here, Devin Singletary, and TJ Yeldon. This offense has been completely overhauled. It is going to be an interesting look to see how this team can mesh. As far as the defensive side goes, not a whole lot of change at all. Really no big free agent signings at all. But some youth developing here. Tre'Davious White, Matt Milano, a bit of a breakout year last year. Tremaine Edmonds, a high pick last season. And then, of course, Ed Oliver, who was a blue chip prospect for me in the most recent draft class. So this defense with a defensive-minded coach in Sean McDermott, we're hoping can really thrive here. And we are going with the 4-3 under scheme here. So the left outside linebackers are going to be a little more on the power rush, pass rusher, hybrid side. And then these guys are going to be more cover guys on the D-line. We've got the typical 4-3 setup. The scheme fit is to have that right end be more of a run stuffer. So a guy like Shaq Lawson, who definitely is a run stuffing type of edge defender. 74 block shed there, very good for an edge rusher on my roster. And then hoping Ed Oliver can really emerge as a true superstar. So we are in preseason week 1. We've got Lorenzo Alexander telling us about rookie developments, the veteran on the roster there. We're going to go ahead and advance to week 2 of the preseason. We're going to do our training and then really just skip ahead to week 4. We're not going to play in the preseason. I might take a look at stats to see who we may or may not cut. So for our focus players, Ed Oliver, an easy choice there. And then I think that on the offensive side of the ball, we should look. I think maybe Josh Allen with that star development should get focused on. And then maybe Cody Ford or perhaps one of these wide receivers, but none of them have that star development. So I think Cody Ford is going to be the pick there on the offensive line. So hoping to get the line and the quarterback figured out a little bit. And I think I will actually focus on those positions here in the training. Now, I'll go ahead and simulate this, but I am going to go with the offensive line and quarterback, whichever one that is here. Scrolling. There we go. Play action power O. And then on the defense, really good youth and excitement on every level. I think we should try and keep a bit of a balance. For this week, I will do the defensive line and the defensive back. But as we go, I might add a few of these drills. So I am going to play these, but I will skip ahead to save us all some time. All right, some nice awards there. Ed Oliver hoping to become a true superstar here in this, an Aaron Donald-esque type of potential with that prospect. So we have an O-line mentorship. This is for Cody Ford, who was a high second-round pick. As we mentioned, 4 new offensive linemen on this team. So he's already a pretty good pass blocker. We definitely want the run to play a role on this team. So we're going to focus on his run block power, I believe. I like this new scenario. It gives you a chance to really develop some of these linemen in ways that you haven't in games past. I'm going to skip the preseason discussion. I'll do these upgrades when we get to week 4, but I am going to go ahead and advance. Hopefully we can avoid injury. We're going to skip ahead to week 4, get our cuts done, do our depth chart. If I didn't already show it, I am on All Pro for this rebuild with speed parity of 52. Injuries are at like 17. But pretty much sticking with normal sliders for this. I haven't had enough time to really test. We'll probably adjust as we go. I know everyone's got slider questions. I'm a rosters guy, not really a sliders guy, so it is what it is. The other thing I need to mention is, for the sake of this rebuild, I wanted to really replicate the difficulties of playing the New England Patriots in this division. So I went ahead and gave Superstar to guys like David Andrews, Joe Thuney, Lawrence Guy, Donta Hightower, even a Kyle Van Noy, who kind of plays like a superstar within that scheme. I went ahead and gave those guys superstars to really replicate the difficulty and challenge of playing that specific team in this division, to give it a nice little spunk to this rebuild. So we've got cuts this week. Let's do our training first. We'll do our development as well, and that'll give us a better indication of who needs to be cut. We can take a peek at our preseason stats too, see who may have stood out. Tyree Jackson getting the majority of the quarterback snaps. At running back, not a whole lot standing out about what you'd expect. So Cole Beasley, Robert Foster, Croft, a good preseason. Really not a whole lot to take away. Lee Smith with 2 touchdowns, Isaiah McKenzie in the preseason. On the defensive side of the ball, Captain Munnerlin, a bunch of tackles. Matt Milano looking good. 3 sacks from Jerry Hughes in limited playing time. Okay. 2 interceptions for Jordan Poyer. Dion Lacey got a pick. We'll keep that in mind as we do our picks. Our cuts, rather. So here we go. Upgrades and then cuts. So Lorenzo Alexander, at his age, actually still getting better with a power upgrade. That is the scheme fit. And he gets a speed boost. What an upgrade for the vet. I will take that. Deion Dawkins, he is set to really be a staple of this offensive line. He gets star dev in my list of development trait change suggestions. I think he is a future, top 10, 15 left tackle. A really good athlete and a good player. Not the best upgrade there. Cole Beasley, we are obviously going to go with the slot upgrade for him. Continue to get better at what he does best. Going to be nice to have that short target there for Josh Allen, who does like to throw deep, but it's important to have some guys underneath as well. Can create first downs if you need them. John Brown getting better as a deep threat. Tremaine Edmonds an upgrade as well. We're going to stick with the field general. He's another guy that we hope to make a staple of this team. A first-round pick last year, just 21 years old, and an absolute freak of a middle linebacker. Tyler Croft, I am actually going to stick with the blocking upgrade for him. I don't think he's ever going to be an elite receiving threat, but it would be nice to get him to be an improved blocker for us. Quentin Spain getting an upgrade. And I do actually want to take a look at my offensive scheme here, because I'm not sure these scheme fits really fit what I'm looking to develop on the offensive side of the ball, because we probably want more of a strong arm, deep threat. I feel like this is probably, some kind of a vertical offense. Vertical zone run, I think, is what we're going to go with. I feel like that better fits what we're looking for in our offensive linemen and just the team as a whole. So let's go back to these upgrades. Now, Quentin Spain, he's an older vet. He's more of a plotter. Not really going to get him to be an agile scheme fit for us. He's more of a band-aid of a pass protector. So we'll just make him better at what he does best. Levi Wallace gets an upgrade. He's a young corner out of Alabama. And we're really trying to balance out our corners. We'll stick with slot here. It is our scheme fit. But I want a good balance from the corners. I want to be able to run man. I want to be able to run zone. And whoa, what an upgrade for Levi Wallace. Ooh, yeah, baby. Speed, man coverage. Wow. Zay Jones. Not a huge fan of him, but we will continue to try to develop him. We'll give him a chance. I want him to become that physical receiver that he's supposed to be at his size. Not much of an upgrade there. Not a very good sign for him. Wyatt Teller, not a bad young guard. And he can actually move a little bit, so we're going to go with the agile upgrade. Hope to get him to be a scheme fit down the road for us. Pretty quiet upgrade. Eddie Yarborough, a run stopper for us. Good upgrade there. 3 block shed. It's going to put him up to 72 block shed. He can play at that. We're going to skip a few of these, but Eli Harold, an interesting player here. We're going to try to develop him in that power rush. I actually like that signing, because you look at a guy like Lorenzo Alexander, who really didn't do much for the first 10 years of his career, and then in this role in Buffalo as that flexible cover pass rushing under linebacker, Eli Harold could play a role in that part of the defense if we can continue to develop his power rush moves to fit that scheme. So I'll go ahead and upgrade the rest of these automatically, and we're going to do our cuts now. Position by position. I'm going to let Matt Barkley go, keeping Tyree Jackson, the intriguing undrafted free agent with a cannon arm and some mobility to him. at running back. I know some people are going to comment that Christian Wade is not in the roster. Unfortunately, not going to be a part of this rebuild. If he makes the roster on this team, I will add him to my roster. And maybe I will create him in this franchise as like a practice squad signing down the road here. But for now, he is not going to be a part of this. That is the Australian speedster we're talking about. So we're going to go ahead and just release Cam Phillips. Andre Roberts, a really good kick returner. I got to remember who changed David Sill's number from number 1, but he is going to make this team. We're going to give him, let's give him an 80s number. How about 87? Look like Jordy Nelson out there. So plenty of receivers on this roster. We'll go ahead, practice squad, Victor Bolden. And I think that we're going to have to practice squad Ray McLeod because we don't really have a need for him at the moment. We will keep our long snapper. It is a realistic rebuild, so we're going to keep him on the 53. Jason Kroom, Tommy Sweeney. I think I will go ahead and practice squad Kroom. We'll go with those 4 at tight end. Let Isaac Asiata go. Spencer Long, not much of a need for him at this point. DeAndre Wesley. John Feliciano. I like our guard depth. Let Connor McDermott go. Now, we will have a decision to make about Cody Ford on if we want to play him at tackle or guard. I think I am going to just keep him at guard, start Ty Nsekhe. I think that is the best 5 for this Bills team. We got Daryl Johnson. He's a speedster. We'll see if we can keep him. He was drafted in the 7th round, I think. On the D-line, we'll try and keep those guys. We can let some of these interior guys go. Petco. Let's keep those 4. So 9 more cuts still. We got some cover linebackers to get rid of. We'll let Corey Thompson go. Maurice Alexander, not quite going to make the cut here. We'll keep these guys for now. We'll see if Stanford makes the team or not. At cornerback, this team signed Kevin Johnson, but I don't think he's going to make the team here for us, at least, with Kevin Munnerlyn coming in here to take that extra 6th cornerback spot. And then at the safety position, Dean Marlowe, time to let you go. I don't think we need Kurt Coleman on this team. He hasn't really played at a high level for a few years. I'd rather keep the young Jaquan Johnson and Ciaran Neal as backups there. But we do still have 4 cuts to make. Let's refresh this. We could release TJ Yeldon. I don't know if he really needs to make this team. I think I am going to go ahead and do that. It was a pretty cheap contract they signed him to. Definitely was not guaranteeing him a roster spot. I think we'll go ahead and let Julian Stanford go. Tough decisions. Who are they recommending? Mike Love and Daryl Johnson. Those are probably the 2 guys we're going to have to let go here. We'll practice squad them. Hopefully we can retain them and continue to develop them there on the practice squad. Any additions that would make sense for this team? I really am pretty satisfied with the status of this roster. Not a whole lot of players opening up at positions of need for us. Maybe a tight end. Let's see, any tight ends become available here? We could play around with Austin Seferian-Jenkins, but I honestly think we're pretty good. I don't see any free agents getting released here that are really going to help this team. Let's go ahead and set our team captains. We're going to go with our quarterback, Josh Allen, in year 2. Going to get the captain's badge. LaShawn McCoy, obviously a captain. Patrick DeMarco, those will be our 3 captains on offense. And then on defense, I think Lorenzo Alexander, he already has it, and Micah Hyde should be a captain for us. Patrolling the defense there as the free safety. They also have Steven Hauschka as our special teams captain, which is fine by me. All right, so we are just about done with this episode. I'm going to set my goal, do the depth chart, and then I will be dropping episode 2 immediately here so you guys have some gameplay to watch on top of this. So this team had some ups and downs last year, but showed some nice things. I think making the playoffs in our first year is a reasonable goal, so that is going to be the objective here. We're going to go ahead and set the depth chart. I'm just going to stop at any positions that might be question marks. So wide receiver, I think that Robert Foster is actually going to be our #1 wide receiver. I'm also going to put David Sills in there as the #4. Isaiah McKenzie will definitely play for us in some gimmicky stuff, but that's the wide receiver room. At tight end, I am not really going to fool around here. I'm going to start Dawson Knox out of Ole Miss, a freak athlete, like a 4.5 40 kind of guy. And he blocked at Ole Miss too, so he's an intriguing prospect. Croft will be our #2, and Lee Smith will be our #3. Voshon Joseph, also another intriguing player here. I had a 3rd to a 4th round grade on him. He ends up going in like the 5th round here to the Bills. Really good athlete, but a super raw guy. He kind of fits the mold of some of these super athletic SEC linebackers that you just don't really know about. You know, he could be Deion Jones, or he could be the worst alternative and just be Duke Riley. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what we get from him. We do have some really talented linebackers here already, but he could really round out a threesome of really, really talented linebackers. Matt Milano going to play a big role for us. Super fun, young group of corners, too. We obviously have Tre'Davious White, who's one of our stars, but Levi Wallace really kind of broke out as a mid-round pick out of Alabama. If not an undrafted player, honestly can't remember. But he's a good outside corner with some speed and length, and he just got that big upgrade for us as well. So excited what this combination of SEC corners is going to bring for us. But Teron Johnson really broke out as a rookie as the slot corner for this team. And he's really kind of a stud slot corner in the making. He's one of many really good slot corners. So I'm really happy with this secondary. It's honestly one of the better secondaries in the entire NFL. Especially when you look at the safety duo with Poyer and Hyde. So really happy about this defense as a whole. It's the offense that's going to be the question mark for us. So we're going to have Roberts returning kicks. I talked about him on my podcast recently. He's one of the more underrated kick returners in the entire league. Just underrated players in general. A good signing for a special teamer there for Buffalo. And then we're going to stick with LaShawn McCoy, and then Devin Singletary will get in there as rotational depth, the power halfback. I might even just make Devin Singletary, and we'll just make Frank Gore a true role player here. And then this is what will be our slot lineup. We will be playing Lorenzo Alexander as a defensive end in nickel packages, just as the Bills do there. He is a very much hybrid player. He's a pass rusher and a cover linebacker. He's going to be doing a little bit of everything for us. And then Harrison Phillips and Ed Oliver will be our starting nickel defensive tackles. The sub linebackers shouldn't have any questions here. And then our team actually made some decent signings filling out the practice squad. We're able to get Myles Gaskin on our practice squad. That's a really nice signing. He can be a good third down back if anything happened. Very happy to have him. And then they also signed Tumachin Bucky Hodges as a developmental tight end for us. We're able to keep Mike Love for the time being, as well as Daryl Johnson. So not a bad practice squad by any means. So that will do it for episode 1. I hope you enjoy. I hope you're as excited for this series as I am. Please, guys, hit that like button if you enjoyed. And we'll see you for the next one uploaded pretty much right now here on Friday night. Cheers, guys. We'll see you for the next one. Peace.